cannot even hold this phone straight. Hello, brothers and sisters in Christ, the people of YouTube. Whoa, 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 whoa. Calm down, calm down. Whoa, whoa. Heel. Wow. It's crazy at the moment. She's crazy, my dog. She just loves jumping. Going for a walk. Beautiful. It's nice and sunny today. It's funny how much God blesses you after wilderness season. And it feels like life's just really taken off. Like I basically had the day off today, and although I did finish at 2, so I don't know if that really counts. But it just feels funny having a day off, because I can work any day I want. I can work every day if I want to. But I just feel like I had too much time on my hands today. Got heaps done. I went to the shops, and normally I'd be rushing around the shops, just going at my pace. But today I just went really slow. Just really lived in the moment, like, what's my rush? I'm not rushing back to anything nice, And I was just thinking it's how sad it is sometimes when you're in a situation and there's no way out of it, because the other person will just not let go. Like they just keep hanging around like a bad smell. And it's just getting real stupid nowadays. Like this person had 2 jobs. They had enough money to move from your house a couple of times over to find their own place and be comfortable with their kid, and unbothered by you in any way, shape or form. Yeah, and this person is suffering now. Like, they never seem to go out. They always seem to just come back, and they're even suffering more so because they've taken all the appliances out of the house, so they can't actually live like a person living in their own house. Like, it's really sad and unfortunate. And you think, if they had 2 jobs, where's all their money gone? And the answer is, it's gone in destroying you, like trying to destroy you. And this is one of the harder concepts I had to deal with, was finding out that, narcissists do put hits on you. They do pay people to gang stalk you, and they do pay people to spy on you. And that's the reason why they can get so many people to help them, because they're willing to give them, bits of money here and there. And it's easy cash for someone, especially if all they've got to do is, head back to the narcissist. They might not even have to see them personally, but they can just jump on Facebook and say, oh yeah, I saw him today, and this is what he was doing, and this is what he was wearing. Here's a photo of him, like, give them all kinds of information. And this person is so obsessed with you that any sort of information they can get, they'll pay for. And this person's paying multiple people, and probably up front too, that whatever they find, they have to report back. And it's really sad, because it's nearly been 5 months, and it's like, you got to build a bridge and get over things in your life, and you got to take accountability for your actions. Like, I had my favourite girlfriend from years ago, Alice. She was beautiful. She was the best partner I've ever had in my life, and I took accountability for what I did to her, and it wasn't anything major. It was just like, we had a fight. I should have rushed over there and comforted her, because it was my fault. Like, we'd both been working extremely hard. She'd been studying a lot, and I had worked longer than I would have liked before I had a holiday. And then we went to a holiday up north. Like we went to Carnarvon, Geraldton, a few different places. We just went around and we're just going in a tent and camping. But we only went away for 4 days, and I think I had 9 days off in total of work. But Alice was just stressing me out because I'd never driven long distances before, and she just wanted to keep going and swapping sites and going here and there, and it just pissed me off. I was like, it's supposed to be on holiday. I drive every day, but of course it's a forklift, but and I didn't communicate things well with her. So instead of being a man and sucking it up and saying, look, I'm sorry, I messed up, I chose to just be stubborn, and it ruined the best relationship in my life. And this is the thing though, like I had to move on with my life. I couldn't be stalking her for years and seeing what she's up to. I had to just accept the fact, okay, she's moved on, I better move on too, especially when 5 months has gone by. You're well and truly, like, the person's well and truly out of your life. You don't have the photos like you used to have. Like for me, I deleted a whole bunch of stuff the day I left, like with my ex-narc, because when I knew all the people she cheated on me with and just the nasty things she'd done, I knew then and there that there was no going back. There was no way I could end up with her again, because she's dirty, she's filthy, and anyone that's that filthy is just, I would not be able to live it down. I would not have respect for myself if I took them back, because it also it validates what they've done. It's like, okay, cheating's okay. Cheating with multiple partners is okay, and it's just the betrayal as well, and the fact that you never really knew this person, because what you were sold was someone that tells the truth, someone that doesn't cheat, someone that is good to their partner. You were sold all these things that they weren't, and these were the things you fell in love with. So it's like, it's not like you're even like breaking up with someone, because the fact is you never knew this person, so you can't exactly. Yeah, it's really weird, because you can't even mourn the loss, because they never existed. They were made up, They're based on fiction. And the sad thing is, right, you can't tell me that someone doesn't have mental problems when they, immediately after leaving work, they have to come home for 15 minutes and then duck out again. Like, it's like, why did you come home? It's just a waste of fuel. It's a waste of time. And if you got 2 jobs, you could easily change into your next uniform at the last job. Like, why would you drive 15-20 minutes just to check up on your ex, to just make sure he's not up to anything, which he's not, because the only things that he's ever been up to are things that you've made up in your head. And this is this is how sick they are and deranged. They just they work themselves up into a frenzy of he's this, he's that, by just telling themselves over and over for hours at a time until they literally believe it. And like for me, I'm a peaceful person, and God says I'm like King David, like I'm going to be a giant killer, which is fine and all, but for me, I'm just happy to be out of the house at the moment, because I know this person's movements. I know they're really predictable, so I know exactly when she's going to come home. So I'm like, I'm just not going to be there at that time, because the less time I spend around this person, just the better my life is, and the more God blesses me, because they're just basically energy vampires. They just literally suck the life out of you, and they'll take whatever they can get. And there's been times where I've just been in my room, chilling, just laying on the bed, just thinking, not actually even asleep, but with all the lights off, and this person's just been standing outside the door, just like stalking me constantly, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what does this give you? Like, seriously, there's no way I'm going to get back together with this person. So what is the point of trying to get stuff from me? Like, there's no dirt to find. The only dirt that happened in my life was stuff you made up. So yeah, they're just crazy birds, eh? Like, and it's the hardest thing is when you're not like them. That makes it more difficult because you want to be peaceful. You want to do all the right things and tick all the boxes and make God proud of you. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you should just change the locks on her and kick her out." And it's like, yeah, I should do that. I really should, considering all the stuff she's done to me. But what would Christ do? What would Jesus do? He would definitely rebuke that spirit, but I don't think God would kick them out either. Like Lucifer got kicked out of heaven for pride, but it was different for angels because they were in heaven with God, especially Lucifer. He was like right next to where Jesus would be in the heavenly court. Like, he was that close to God, and then he decided to rebel. So the sin was grievous because they knew God. Now me, I haven't been in the front of God's throne. So for me, yeah, at the end of the day, I just feel like this person needs to get their life together, needs to start taking accountability for their actions, and just like you left, you went with other supply, and yeah, I know the grass isn't greener, but that's sort of the risk you take when you go have sex with other people. Like, you take the risk that they're not going to be as good, they're not going to offer as much. And as a Christian, with a narcissist, it's really hard to deal with because you are taught to forgive and move on, and they use your kindness against you, and they consider kindness a weakness. But God died on the cross for our sins. There was nothing weak about God. He got the thrashing of his life, and then he just picked up his cross and he took it onto the he took it up the hill and let him crucify him. And I don't know too many other men that could go through all that and live for as long as he did. Like, Christ went through crucifixion, and he was the quickest crucifixion. I think they said it took something between 3 or 6 hours, but the main reason for that was because he got a double helping of beating when he was getting a flogging. He was supposed to get, I think it was 50 lashes with a whip, or not a whip, those sort of cane sticks they have. But then the devil jumped into one of the executioners or the punishers, I don't know what you call them, but and they not only gave him those, but they gave him the flagellum, which is like a weapon that's got, like, they shave down the knuckles on sheep knuckles, and they put it on a bit of leather, and the way it kind of strikes is it digs in and it just rips a huge chunk of flesh off. And he had that about 40 or 50 times, and while he's bleeding from everywhere, they asked him to pick up 120 kilo weight. Just carried a couple of k's, just so that we can finish you off. And when you have that much blood pouring out of your body, it's like you're struggling to breathe as you're doing it. Now this is Christ's character, kindness, and kindness has never been a weakness. Having restraint, walking away from a fight, is not weakness; it's strength. It shows that you have willpower. It shows that you can take a beating and not have to strike back. You can, you can just move on. You can forgive someone. But not a lot of people can do that. And they think might is right, but it's not. It really isn't. And with a narcissist, they take it to this extreme. Like, they'll see your kindness as a weakness, but until it comes down to they want something from you, like when they want you to play the game, then suddenly your kindness, they'll be like, why isn't he being kind to me? Why isn't he forgiving me? Aren't you supposed to do that? Aren't you supposed to be a Christian? Suddenly they'll be interested in your kindness. And yes, so for me, a lot of people say, well, why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? It's like, I really could, but I don't want to end up like them, you know? Like it says in Psalms chapter 46 verse 10, be still and know that I am God. And the reason it says that is because God's supposed to fight our battles for us, you know? He goes ahead to prepare the way for us. And so I'm just leaving it up to him, really. Just trying to live my life, focus on myself. And the more I get away from this narcissist, the better I feel. Like, because, you know, God can follow you everywhere, but demons can't. Demons need a body. And if you're away from the demonically oppressed narcissist, they have to take their legion of demons with them. So when they can't track you down and they don't know your movements, you feel the most peace you've ever felt, because you're not getting a flogging from, you know, an army of demons. And not that God would let them flog you literally, but spiritually you can feel it in the air. There's a difference in the air, you know. And I think the trouble with a narcissist too is they bite off more than they can chew. Like they might start off with witchcraft, and then they're like, oh, what about black magic next? Oh, that didn't work. What about voodoo? You know, all sorts of different stuff. Yeah, devil really doesn't want this word getting out, because I've had 2 dogs just chasing my dog, and they followed me for like a couple of Ks. I tried to return them to the owner. I got my phone in one hand and my lead in the other. The person's just left their front door open, wide open, where the dogs must have obviously been, and then just been grinding or making some sort of noise. So you couldn't even tell them their dogs had gotten out without having to enter their home. So I wasn't really prepared to do that. And yeah, it's like now their dogs are just running amok all over the neighbourhood because they couldn't just shut the door. You know, like it's really ridiculous the amount of people that are doing this in town. You know, you just need to enclose your yard. Anyway, yeah, enough about that. Yeah, I hope you can hear me, because I just went up the hill and it's just got so much wind out. But you know, the narcissists will always try to keep the truth coming out about them, because they're telling all their friends, like, oh yeah, I hate that person, I hate him, and they talk about him so much that they don't sound like someone that hates someone. They sound like someone that's obsessed. And while they're hating on you at the gossip table, they'll be on their phone, like looking at your videos or your posts on Facebook when they think nobody else is looking. And I know a couple of her friends that have told me, I've seen some dodgy stuff from her when she thinks nobody else is looking. And I'm like, of course you have, because they don't want the truth getting out that you're their biggest fan, even though you're the person that they got rid of. Like, that's the sad thing. And like, if she wasn't my biggest fan, why does she keep coming to my house? Like, it's like, you know, like, you just move on with your life. You'd let the lawyers work everything out, and then you'd just have no contact with the person if you really didn't care about them. And I feel sorry for this person's kid, because it's like, the poor kid must be thinking, why do you keep talking about them? Like, why do you keep going on about them? Like, because I don't put myself in a situation where I'm near this person. I always try and keep a safe distance from them. And if I can, I just stay in my room a lot of the time too. So one, it gives them nothing, and two, I don't have to deal with them. But the best thing is it gives them nothing. I had to stop the video to bark with this dog. This old dog, this old Labrador. And he always just wants to bark at you, so I bark back at him. And then he jumps up and down and barks, and then I jump up and down and bark. So it's a bit awkward when their owners are there and they're watching you do it. But I don't think they really mind. And it's a really beautiful dog, and I think it's just because it doesn't get out. It's like it's just bored, A lot of them are, because I go past the same area all the time, and you find ones where there's like 3 dogs, and they're all like golden retrievers or labs, and they bark at you heaps, and then all of a sudden they just look at you unbothered, like, oh, it's that guy again. Okay, he's fine, and they'll look your way casually, but they just can't be bothered after that. Yeah. So how was I? So I guess the most important thing I've learned about a narcissist is don't be too quick with your life. Like, don't be too bothered about the fact that they want to live your life, because you need to get them wrapped. You need to be exclusive out of your life before you can really even just expand your circle, because you don't want to have too many people in your circle when you've got one of these stalkers trying to cause you problems. You don't want to know how long it'll take you, but eventually you'll be free from them. It may just take a bit of time, and it could just be the fact that they go to prison, because what the narc doesn't realise is there are actual agencies out there that do monitor things like Facebook and your social media and all your accounts to make sure you're not doing something dodgy. And at some point a person will get flagged for what they say about someone. It's why when you go on YouTube you have to say, oh, that person unalived themselves, because the algorithm picks up on certain words. And this is how dumb the narcissist is. They think they're safe in their little chat rooms, and they can hide the ones that want to keep the real dirty, nasty ones on their WhatsApp or their cloud and think that nobody's going to find it. But my narcissist doesn't really have strong passwords, so anyone with any skills at hacking could easily get in there, and even people that know her really reasonably well could probably guess and get in, So they think they'll get away with it forever, but God's going to cause certain people to do these things to the narcissists, because it's just part of their judgment, and it'll be, all of a sudden things will be leaked out that they didn't want to get out. And if you think, oh, well, what could they be hiding? Well, why would you have 13,000 messages stored on your phone? Think about that for a minute, because this is what they do. And they got things stored from like 4 or 5 years ago, and probably even further back, but that's all I could find. And they've got everything to do with the ex-lover.